And we will continue now, and we will welcome our next speaker, our next guest, to tackle another part of the mining process and the impact it's had on the advance of technology, the digital transformation, and the digitalization of a series of processes in different stages of within the productive chain of the mining industry that we know that's very complex, but technology lets us tackle each one of those aspects with specific solutions and responses for each one of the problems that different segments within the development of the mining industry have. And those are the points that we will talk about in this 3 days of Siemens Mineral Week. Today, tomorrow, Wednesday, and on Thursday, we will be talking about these issues with a specific presentation, more technical presentations. So we would like to welcome now Zeng. He's a director of commercial development of Siemens Minerals, and he will talk about the optimization of pit support using digitalization in the mining industry.
In Siemens Minerals Week.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the introduction.
Well, we have some like 15, 20 minutes for your keynote. Then we have some space for questions from our audience. But now we can hear you for the next 20 minutes, okay?
Okay, so I'm trying to finish within 20 minutes, of course. Okay, so welcome. It's also for us, well, for me personally, it's also new to have this kind of virtual conference with all the audience. But with the current situation, it's quite normal for us just to do at this stage. So my topic is really digitalization in mining industry and pit to port optimization. I think this topic, or the word at least digitalization, has been addressed several times today, and especially the last, let's say, presentation from Sabine. We heard a lot that, especially during the COVID situation, digitalization helped a lot the mining industry to get through this tough time. But this process, we have to say, it has been started for many, many years, digitalization journey for this industry. And we can observe basically this pandemic situation basically accelerated the process. So we do see that the technology will become more and more into the industry and take really impact to the industry, or even to shape industry for the future. So if you look at, for us, we are following Siemens this topic since many, many years. And we do have also different topics now be addressed by concrete projects or by also R&D development work. But if we look at all these topics, we are always talking about two major topics. One is really the horizontal integration. This is really well known by everybody who's doing the mining projects, where we do have, let me really put this laser point here. Really, we do have a long, let's say, product life cycle of the plant, starting from the planning until to really improvement and also further expansions. So in this area, we do have different, let's say, tools, applications, technologies in the past, and now is under usage. And Siemens is working on solutions to integrate them as whole, and to create really the technical, let's say, data backbones for further, let's say, usage of the mining operation. And in this regard, you have also dedicated really presentation also tomorrow for the topic digital mine. You will have more details about that. And another direction we are also seeing that is really in the direction the vertical integration, where it's really started from the field up to really ERP level, to have really seamless integration between different, let's say, data sources or applications, where we do have also several, let's say, activities now running today. I just want to mention one of the most, let's say, prominent references, and to see exactly what Siemens has done in this area, which is this references GPVM, which is the MES mining project for the company Vale. Where we connected really more than 38 sites. With the time, it's already growing, the system growing bigger and bigger. And we covered the complete value chain of Vale to manage the operations. And even we can, well, really honor that tomorrow we can also invite one colleague also from Vale to present to focus on the topic, the Center of the Operations Intelligence, which is building on top of, let's say, the GPVM project, which is the MES project acting as a technical backbone behind that. And then what you can see, what can be achieved on top of this giant project. And at the same time, we got also the latest feedback from the customer side. And the customer is stating that they have really calculated up to really 2020 a saving of $70 million, which another evidence to say these kind of project is not only, let's say, improve the internal business by creating really the better really working procedure, but really there's also a concrete benefit generated from these kind of project. And another area where I want to really address, which is really this operational level improvement. Why? Because all this integration we're talking about, both in the horizontal and also the vertical integration, we are also now involved in different projects, and all these integrations are definitely also fulfilling certain purpose, because just to bring the software together to talk to each other, or to bring all different, let's say, data sources together, itself, this kind of bring together is not generating values. We have to have really the usage, and also with the purposely implementation of these applications can generate values. And this value generation, at the end of the day, we're talking about really improvement in different levels. So today I want to also give you one another examples to address, or to show where this improvement is coming from. One is two references I want to show is mainly on this operational level. One is about really by really seamless integration of automation systems and also software and 3D modeling on top. Then we can really turn these big machines into kind of robots. So they know exactly where the material are by themselves, and they know exactly where they're supposed to go to pick up the materials, or even to stack in the materials. So these integration, so by integrating the automation system and the software systems, or the different technologies behind that, we can really make these machines intelligent. And these intelligent working machines will automatically can automatically execute different really working plans, or what I say, working jobs. And we do have also different projects now. This is concrete one project now in the implementation. So in this regard, we are also developing further technologies I will mention later, and to see that these kind of technologies will become one puzzle stone in the whole picture. This is one example. Another example I want to also mention, really same in the operational level, how we can really let's say, by integrate also, let's say, artificial intelligence technologies to create functionalities, or to create really benefit in the past was actually not possible. Which this is exactly in a project now we are also piloting, where so the typical, let's say, mining equipment, it's back on Tipler. The functionality is quite actually simple for everybody who's working in the industry. But the key point is then typically only by measuring of different signals, there's no really signal which is out of the boundary which have been settled by the automation system, which is always leading to a very light identification. We only know it after certain pieces are broken up. But by applying artificial intelligence, we could really identify the anomalies before the machine's going broken. And because the principle behind it is really the signal, the artificial intelligence is not only looking at one signal, they are looking at really all the signals. And by understanding really the relationships of the signals, we could already really create alarms that create really warnings before one or another specific measurement is going out of the boundaries or going out of the threshold. So this is really creating definitely added value for the operators to know what parts would also going broken. But all these technologies now we are trying to bring in to integrate from horizontal or from vertical integrations, and also bringing additional technologies like really turn the machines to the robots, and also bringing the artificial intelligence. There's all of those have really one purpose to fill, and this purpose is really to realize optimization at operational management level, which is not only the pure, let's say, single machines to be optimized. It must be really come to the optimization at operational, let's say, end-to-end level. Why so? Because we know that also this is basically what we learned also from the other industries, where we see that the just-in-time production is already a kind of state-of-art technologies, where the complete value chain has been optimized based on the overall target, not only based on the single optimization for single silos. And we do see, due to really the fact that the mining value chain is extremely long. If you look at really how the materials be mined in the mountain of Andes, and finally the raw materials is arriving on different continent for the smelting plant, or even after smelting plant to come to the final product, is a huge value chain. I mean, just from the distance perspective, and also the materials that's involved, and also stations involved, is extremely complicated. So there is basically no optimization at value chain level. It's really only optimization at the moment at single station level. But we understand also from the industry, these long value chain is a huge value or a huge benefit hidden in this long distance of value chain. So one of our actually prominent customer was even telling us to say, to understand really this material flow is actually the key to drive the efficiency of mining value chain to the next level. And we do believe, and we do see this potential behind that. If you look at this picture, there's basically two perspectives. One is really this mass flow, so which is definitely daily. We see that, we deal with that, the run of mines, the tons we have to transport from A to B and to be shipped and to be beneficiated. Another part is really this quality flow, where the raw material starting from grade 0.1, 0.2, and finally to 99.99 copper. So this is also a quality flow changing, let's say, dramatically changing. To track them, not only for tracking, not only tracking for the future certification, let's say, purpose in the future, but more really tracking also in the sense of do we really know what kind of material, what kind of quality at which location, and by knowing that, how can we really optimize really to change the process. So I think tomorrow you will have also another dedicated really presentation about how Siemens now is working on to get really quality information of raw materials live in the mineral processing. And all these, let's say, technologies, or let's say puzzle stones that we are working on, will help us to shape the complete, order to understand firstly the complete value chain, and then with right, let's say, technologies and right algorithm at the end of the day to shape also the industry and shape the value chain. So to be very concrete, at moment we do see a lot of projects, or let's say initiatives that are running in the direction to firstly make the process transparent. So we have to integrate different, let's say, logistic informations, dispatch information, laboratory information, to become a kind of center of integrated operations, to know what happened at which location, and concrete things happening. But in the next level, we do see that we have to come to really center of intelligence operations, the same I, letter I behind that. But intelligence means really we have to, out of this center of intelligence operations, to have different measures on different actions taken also to the processes, where we will need also different technologies being involved, like digital twin, like discrete event simulation, or like different optimization algorithm, or even predictive analytics. These are technologies will be in the future also integrated into the whole concept. So even we will have also dedicated session in this Minerals Week, just only talking about digital twin. I strongly recommend really to follow our other sessions. Slowly we'll come to also the end. If I look at the time, I have to also pay attention to my time. So for us, we are working on different, let's say, technologies and also different applications to make the equipment smarter, to make the process more transparent, and order even to create, let's say, countermeasures, and to create suggestions, recommendations, and to make process more, let's say, efficient. So in this regard, definitely we need at the value chain level also certain guidance to do that. And this guidance there is exactly the current, let's say, an R&D work that we are working on that. We're trying also to create also certain simulation task, or the simulation dedicated or specified for the mining value chain, where just we can simulate the complete value chain, really start from the mine, final end up of the arrival destination, and to show the potential behind also this the complete value chain. Our target is in the future, definitely by working on different, let's say, single technology or single applications, at the end of the day, to come to a fully integrated operations, start from the mine up ended to the logistics, really from the mine to the pit. And in each, it's not only just to connect them, it's not only to integrate them, but really more to create also the different scenarios and actions and the measures can be executed, and it can be also break down also to the operations, so that have even at least half automatic improvement process, not only at operational level, but also really at operational level at enterprise level. So my very last slide with the modern technologies, and it's just a showcase to see we're also working exactly on these kind of applications, and we are wishing that we can also use also all these technologies to assist you and assist also your operations and your mines to become really the next level of optimization, or the next level of efficiency. Okay, so if I look at my time, I'm almost up, really 20 minutes. So I want to really give back also to the moderator, and maybe we have some questions that we have to address.
Mr. Zeng, Thank you very much for your time, for your keynote. Very interesting keynote for this topic. We have 3 questions at least for you. I would like to start with Gustavo Castillo. He is texting us from Mineral El Abra, and he asks these questions. In this type of digitalization platforms to optimize processes, one of the big questions is related to payback times, return on investment in general terms. What can we expect from these technologies? Pregunta Gabriel. This is a question from Gabriel.
Okay, then I have to say it is depending on different use cases. Sure. Of course, this is the return investment time. It could be really, but I have to say like this. According to the use cases now we are looking at, there are some really promising use cases we're really talking about in several months, and really the return will be given. But for some topics, of course, there are some topics that really related to really large investment, related to really massive change of current really way of working, and or including also even some hardware modification. Then it's definitely we're talking about really years and just normal, let's say, return investment calculation. Yeah, but it's really strong depending on the use cases. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. We have another question. This time is from Nelindolfo Lopez. He asks the next question: how communications are integrated into the digitalization of the mining industry?
Okay, I assume behind this question is more about really connectivities. I think indeed there in the past there was, due to different, let's say, there was some limitation of technologies. I mean, if you use different version of database, different from different time, and you're using different software programming skills and programming, let's say, habits even by which programmer, you may have different interfaces, and it was difficult to bring them together. But with the time development, we do see, for example, in the previous reference I have mentioned in this Avala project, we have basically integrated almost all the data source that from the operation side into one MES system. So we have even written by ourselves different interfaces to let them talk together. But I see this time is slowly changing with the time, because if you look at it, the coming softwares or the coming IT technologies, thinking about really the massive usage of APIs, the docking technologies is really starting to become more and more popular. So we do expect in the future the connectivity should not be or will not become the challenge. It will be just like plugging in, just like nowadays USBs everywhere, and you were never concerned to connect your phone to your laptop, which in the past was really in the case. I do believe that in the industry is also moving, and connectivity issue will not become an issue anymore. Yeah.
Thank you. We have a third question for you, Mr. Zeng. It's about sustainability. This is a relevant topic in mining, of course. Yeah. Sustainability in operations, specifically how this digitalization platform has accelerated this field. Do you have any examples for this?
Well, sustainability in terms of, I would like to a little bit, let's say, separate really in some subcategories, because sustainability is really a huge topic.
Sure.
One category is sustainability in terms of really the safety, and also especially for the employees who are working on the site. So if you look at the current, what I say, Siemens has done several of these kind of projects by creating remote control center, by really, we do have really mines also in Chile who is operated in Santiago, not on the mine. So these kind of reference, you can say it's definitely a very sustainable technology, just to protect really human beings, to avoid exposure to the, let's say, dangerous environment. This is one direction. Another direction, sustainability in terms of really protection, let's say, of, let's say, avoidance of wasting of resources, right? So if you look at this topic is becoming more and more important, and we know it in the whole value chain by different analyses, different studies, even in the public, you will find the materials in got lost during this value chain. Start from the mine, we know in the deposit, until really to the smelter, or even come to the end products. There's, depending on different studies, we're talking about 10, 15, or even 20% of the material got lost during this process. So digitalization is helping the whole value chain to become more efficient, to really manage the whole process. At the end of the day, we really expect that these kind of waste can be avoided, which is also a huge benefit, or as a huge contribution for the sustainabilities. So a very last point, I think, is very important, which is by tracking, really by creating this kind of tracking transparencies, we will be able to certificate already the materials from which mine, from which location, to build in which car, in which form. So this certification process, really to get to the source of the materials, is another, let's say, element to improve the sustainability, because we do want to really the mining the basic let's say the good mines get protected and really to be highly valued in the market. And I think we do see that's also the trend now in the consumables and in the consumer market is more and more starting to requesting this kind of tracking really to the source. So I think, but to do so, we do need really a very transparent, integrated digital, let's say, digitalization process, because only that we can provide really reliable information. So I would like to answer this question in these three categories.
Yeah. Mr. Zeng, thank you very much for your time. I'm sure our audience has enjoyed your keynote. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Yeah. See you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good day. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bien, esta era la presentación de Zeng. Agradecemos la presentación.
Very well. This was a presentation of Zeng, and we thank for the way we have been brought in these key aspects for the mining industry. We have talked about energy efficiency, how automation in the context of the pandemic can help to drive the industry and economic growth. We've talked about digitalization in the industry, all the roadmap from the mine itself to the end user, and